If you are over 40 and you are trying to stay on track with your fitness plan, your nutrition plan, your wellness plan, you're on the program and you are going to travel, whether it's for work or for pleasure, and you're worried about dropping off your nutrition, this video is for you. I want to share with you a few different strategies that I have figured out over the last year or so that really work well for me as I am traveling to stay on track with my nutrition. I'm a person that I do really well when I am at home and I've got access to all of the things. And sometimes when I travel, I feel like I get totally derailed. So over the last 6 months or so, I've done a couple of travel trips, either professionally for work or for personal for fun. And I feel like I figured out a couple of different things that I want to share here with you today. So if you're looking for some tips to stay on track with your nutrition while you're traveling, let's get started. So the first thing is to look at where you are staying. So if you are traveling for work, you might not necessarily have too much of a say in where you're going to stay. Your company might have a predefined set of hotel rooms for you. You might be going to a conference where you're going to stay at that particular hotel. But if you're traveling for pleasure, you might have a little bit more flexibility on where you're going to stay. So the first thing I do is look at what I'm going to have access to in my hotel room. So I'm going to look at, do I have access to a microwave? Do I have access to a refrigerator? If I've got both, I feel like that's good. I'm happy. I'm excited about that. If you don't have, that's okay. We've got a couple of different things that I'm going to talk through here in this video. If you're traveling for pleasure and you're able to just be a little bit more flexible about where you're staying before you book your room, look and see, do you have access to a microwave? Do you have access to a refrigerator? Another option is to stay at an Airbnb. You get full access to a kitchen and you'll have a stove and a refrigerator and a microwave and quite possibly some other things like a blender or maybe even an Instapot or crock pot, and then pots and pans, things like that. Okay. So really look at just where you are staying to figure out just, all right, this is the baseline of what I'm working with. And then you can build your nutrition plan around what you're going to have access to. Okay. So when I go to the hotel room, go to the Airbnb, check it out, see what you've got access to. If you've got an Airbnb, you want to look and see what kinds of kitchen utensils that you have. I recently traveled to Hawaii and I was a month out from my fitness competition, and I knew that I was going to be able to stick with what I was already eating. It just needed to look a little bit different. So for example, I like to make up taco meat and just get some ground turkey, add some taco seasoning to it, make 3 pounds of it. I've got it on hand. I've got it available. Eat it up, right? Cook it up into a pan similar to that one right there. But at the Airbnb, I didn't have a Tupperware container to put it in, like one of those disposable Tupperware containers. I didn't notice it when I went to the grocery store, so I didn't buy anything. So I had to get a little bit creative. There was a water pitcher there, and I was able to just put the meat in the water pitcher, store it in the refrigerator that way. So sometimes you got to get a little bit creative with the Airbnb, but you do have some options. So if I'm on a road trip, I might bring some things with me, invest in a nice cooler. You can get coolers now that you can plug right into your vehicle that controls the temperature of the cooler, so you don't have to constantly stop and add ice, get everything wet, things like that. So I do highly suggest investing in a good cooler if you're doing a road trip. If you're traveling by airplane, you land, you get to the destination, get all your stuff situated. The first stop I take is go to the grocery store. And this is where I'm going to grab a few staples that I'm going to keep on hand with me. I always know that I want to have something available for breakfast because I'm the kind of person, when I get up in the morning, I'll have my coffee and I would like to have a little bit of food before I get started with my day. Oftentimes I will eat just a little bit before I do a workout or whatever I'm going to do right away in the morning. So go to the store right away, get a few staples. Some staples for me include coffee creamer. I like my coffee creamer. Make sure I got the right kind of coffee that I want. I'll get Greek yogurt. This is really great, very easy. You can add fruits and vegetables to it. I like to use Greek yogurt and then I add berries and slice up a banana with it. You could add a little bit of honey there. If you're somewhere, you might be able to get some local honey. So that's a really great staple that I have. So I will grab some of this. I try not to rely too much on protein shakes and protein bars, but when I'm traveling, I will use protein shakes, protein bars strategically. Okay. They're there as a supplement. They're there to help keep me on track. So I will get some of these Fairlife protein shakes. You can get the Core Power ones. These have 30 grams of protein. The Core Power ones have something like 46 grams of protein, a lot of protein there. I also like to bring I like the isogenic shakes. It's a powder. You blend it up. And if you've got an Airbnb, you might be lucky and have a blender that you can just put some ice in there. I like to blend it up with half an avocado. You can put all that in there, okay? Some other staples that I'll grab are some fruits and veggies. So I like to grab things like sugar snap peas. Those are really easy to just as a grab and go snack. Baby carrots. I like to grab some berries. Oftentimes, if you go in the produce section of any grocery store, they're going to have pre-cut fruits and veggies. So you can get pre-cut melon, you can get pre-cut berries, strawberries with the leaves already cut off, things like that. So you can go to that section of the grocery store and just grab a bunch of stuff that you can have on hand as a snack in your Airbnb, in your hotel room. You can grab and go, you can take it with you throughout the day. The other thing that I like to do is some grocery stores have pre-cut jicama sticks, get some of those. And then we've got some Holy Guacamole makes little pre-made containers of guacamole. And so I'll snack on jicama sticks with some guacamole. So when I go to the grocery store, get some staples, fruits and veggies. The other thing might be some Greek yogurt, eggs. You can go into the dairy section. Oftentimes grocery stores they'll sell like bags of pre-hard-boiled eggs. They're already boiled, they're already peeled. You just eat them. What I like to do is for the protein, I will eat the egg whites. So oftentimes I'll take out the egg yolk and I'll eat the egg whites separately. So I might eat 1 or 2 egg yolks for a little bit of the fat. There's a lot of nutrients in the egg yolks, but if I'm going to eat 6 hard-boiled egg whites, I'm certainly not eating 6 egg yolks. That's just what is aligned with my goals. Another thing that you can grab is go to the deli area and look and see if they have any rotisserie chicken. You can grab a rotisserie chicken, you can cut it up in your hotel room, in your Airbnb, and you've got some chicken meat ready for you on the go. Another thing that I really like are the tuna packets. I don't eat a whole lot of those, but when I am traveling, those are something that's very easy to take with me. So if I'm leaving for the day and I want to have a snack with me, I can grab a tuna packet, maybe some Triscuits or some other type of cracker, even some vegetables with it. It's a really great snack. So tuna packets are very helpful. If you don't have access to a microwave, if you end up at a hotel room and you don't have access to a microwave, or if you're leaving for the day and you want to be able to heat something up. So maybe you've got some rotisserie chicken or some sort of meal that you want to heat up. This Hot Logic is a game changer. It really is. So what this is the Hot Logic Mini. They make bigger ones too that fit like a full casserole pan, but it's a hot plate that you can plug in. It's got a regular plug. You can also get the plugs that just plug into like a cigarette adapter in your vehicle. This one I can use at home, and you saw a lot of cars have these types of plugs now too, and you can just plug it in. And whatever meal you've got, you can just place the container right here on the hot plate, let it sit for an hour or two, and it heats it right up. So the Hot Logic Mini is a total game changer if you are traveling and you want a nice, warm, hot meal. Now, when you travel, you're probably going to go out to eat, okay? So if you're traveling for work, you might have to go to work dinners, the mandatory, voluntary work dinners. If you're traveling for pleasure, you're probably going to go out to eat. That's just part of traveling, is going and enjoying some of the local restaurants, some of the local foods. The strategies that I've given you so far are ways to stay on track with your nutrition plan. Just in your room, you've got some grab and go, you're prepared for the day. But if you're going to go out and have lunch, you're going to go have dinner, absolutely do that. Don't feel like you're going to, I can't go out to eat because I'm going to get totally off track with my nutrition and I'm going to fall off the wagon. No, there are some strategies that you can take with you when you go to restaurants to help you stay on track and enjoy the local food, enjoy the company that you're with, and just have a good time. And so what I don't want is anyone to feel like they can't go out to eat, they can't go enjoy the foods that they want to try, okay? That's not what this is here. But what this is to help you stay on track. If you are on a journey and you want to stay on track, take a look at the menu beforehand. When you go to a restaurant, maybe you've picked out a restaurant, take a look at it beforehand. You can look it up online, see what they've got there, and find something where the protein really calls to you. This looks great. I want to try this fish. I want to try this salmon dish. I want to try this thing. I want to try that thing. Really start with the protein. What is the protein that you want? So take a look at the menu, look at the protein, and pick your meal from there. One thing to just shy away from is going to be things like heavy creams, heavy sauces. If you do pick a meal that's got a lot of heavy cream, heavy sauce, just eat it in moderation. Enjoy yourself. You're on vacation. You're trying out new foods. You're trying out different foods that you wouldn't normally eat at home. It's totally okay. All right. So start with the protein, build your meal around the protein. When I was preparing for my bodybuilding competition and I would go to a restaurant, I would look at the salad menu, figure out what protein I could add to a good salad, and then that would be my meal. That's prepping for a bodybuilding competition, though. And a really big point here is to get your hydration. Here's your Operation Fit AF water tumbler. You don't have to use it, but it's fun. Why not? Bring it with you. Make sure that you're getting in enough water as you're traveling. It's very easy to feel inflamed and bloated, and especially riding on an airplane, and then you're eating out a lot of restaurant food. There's a lot of higher sodium foods that you're eating, and oftentimes people come back from their trips feeling bloated and inflamed. Keep drinking your water. That's really going to help. Get daily movement, walk. If you're traveling on vacation for personal reasons, you might be up and about and doing all of the walking. If you're traveling for work, you might be sitting at a conference. It's okay to stand in the back of the room. So make sure that you're getting your water in, getting in your movement throughout the day. And then when you get home, just get back on the plan. Get back on the plan. Whatever it is that you're working towards, just get back on the plan. Don't allow this travel, this week or 2 weeks or 3 days or long weekend or whatever it is, don't let it derail you. Enjoy yourself. That's the part of the lifestyle that we're learning here. So those are a couple of the strategies that I use to help me stay on track with my nutrition, with my diet as I am traveling as a woman over 40. These are things that I found really helpful. But what I want to make sure is you have fun. You're on vacation, you're traveling for work, you're meeting new people. There's a social component that comes with eating food and going out to restaurants. Enjoy yourself, have fun. Don't feel like you have to totally over restrict yourself. It's stay on track 80% of the time, 20% of the time, go do the things. And then when you get back home, make that decision. I'm back on the program, back on the plan, whatever your plan is. And don't let it totally derail you for the next 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it might be. Traveling doesn't have to throw you off your nutrition plan. So if you are interested, I do have a nutrition guide that I have available. You can go to heathermonthly.com/nutrition. And this is a great guide that gives you some strategies and some ideas of how to build a plate around prioritizing protein, adding in fruits and veggies, grains, and healthy fats. It gives you a lot of practical tips for how to implement this in your day-to-day life. Go to heathermonthly.com/nutrition. Talk to you soon.